aweze kutueleza sisi. Lakini nimeona ya kwamba hakuna mawasiliano na akaendelea kuenda katika ile nambari ya 4 ambao sio mawasiliano. Ningetaka kujua Bwana Spika, yale mawasiliano ambayo tulikuwa tumefanya kwako Bwana Spika, na ukaahidi ya kwamba hivi leo utayaleta mbele ya bunge, na hivi sasa umeenda katika kipengele cha 4 umekosa kuileta hapa yale mawasiliano ambayo kwa upande wa walio wachache hivi sasa wanakosa uongozi wao. Hakuna whip wala deputy, na ilikuwa wewe uweze kuwasiliana ili tuweze kujua uongozi upo, ili tuweze kuendelea na katiba za bunge la Senate. Hivi sasa ni jambo la kusikitisha ya kwamba umepita ratiba hiyo ya 3 ya communication, umeingia katika. Tunataka kama kuna uamuzi wowote ambao uliufanya, na haifai kuwa na uamuzi, unatakikana kuleta communication kwa nyumba. Lakini sasa mimi ninaona kuna kizungu mkuti kinaendelea ambacho ni kwa nini tunataka kujua wewe hutaki kutuambia sisi ni jawabu gani ambalo unaweza kucommunicate kwetu na kwamba wewe hujaleta hiyo ratiba hapa ndani. Ni kizungu mkuti gani kinaendelea hapa ndani ya bunge la Senate ya kwamba unanyima walio wachache kuwa na viongozi wao wanaowahitaji ndani ya vile viti? Asante Bwana Speaker.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order. Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
I can see there are requests and interventions. So I don't know, Olekina Redama, Senator Wanalok.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I rise to really inquire from the chair's office, on the chair's desk, on the communication that the chair promised to deliver in terms of the leadership of the side of the minority. Mr. Speaker, we know from history that what goes around comes around. Well, I'm a bit perplexed that the chair has decided to draft new standing orders. Mr. Speaker, sir, the standing orders are drafted and passed by this House. Yesterday, we conversed on the issue of the communication from the leader of the minority on matters dealing with the leadership of the minority side. Mr. Speaker, we do not want to impute any improper motive on the Speaker, the substantive Speaker of this House. Because, Mr. Speaker, you are a colleague, but today you are sitting in that seat as a Speaker. But we are concerned because the substantive Speaker is now exhibiting characters of a prefect, someone who wants to come and prefect political parties. It shocks us that the substantive Speaker, Mr. Speaker, and we are not discussing the character of the Speaker here.
You are a very renowned, outstanding senator for Narok.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I agree.
Of course, you know the standing orders cannot allow even to discuss, not even the Speaker, the conduct of any Kenyan who is not here to defend himself.
Okay, Mr.
So
Speaker, I'm guided.
Kindly execute
Mr.
your
Speaker,
without referring to
I will not refer to the substantive Speaker in person, but the Speaker's office is an institution. And when we see that the institution is now attempting to investigate on the circumstances that led to the minority side deciding to change their leadership and appointing a new leadership, that in itself leads a lot to be desired. Mr. Speaker, this is a house of reason, This is a house of union. This is a house that is supposed to show high level of discipline. It is a house that has got the best legal minds here. The Secretariat, Mr. Speaker, give advice to us legislators whenever we have any matter to be able to deliberate here. But we are concerned because on our side, we've got no leadership at the moment. We only have the minority leader and his deputy. We do not have a whip. We do not have a deputy whip. The communication, and I'm trying to understand, Mr. Speaker, and sometimes I wonder whether we have different schools that people go to when it comes to reading simple English. Section 23, Standing Order number 23, 6, is self-explanatory, Mr. Speaker. I do not want us to cause any havoc here, but seriously, if a house of union, a house that is supposed to make laws in this country, led by a distinguished speaker, cannot be able to clearly read what is indicated here, Mr. Speaker, and it clearly says, upon a decision being made by the minority party, under the standing order, the decision of the party shall be communicated to the speaker in writing, together with the minutes of the meeting at which decision was made. It does not talk about anything to do with fair administration of justice. It does not talk about anything to do with different conflicts or the speakers now trying to meddling into party affairs. Mr. Speaker, I may want to beseech the chair to desist, because a chair is not a prefect of a political party. A chair sits there, he's blind, he's only there to guide. But there is a tendency now, Mr. Speaker, which is a bit dictatorial, where the chair dictates what can come out of our mouth, what we should say. It is some sort of gagging, Mr. Speaker. If we are going to continue with that trajectory, Mr. Speaker, I dare say that we might as well fold and leave, because democracy has already been sunk into a 6-foot hole. We cannot allow that, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I would like to beseech you. You are one of our colleagues. Can we stick to this? Because I believe that if we do not abide by these standing orders, it will come back to what Senator Orengo was telling us here. You know, that we have to be very careful of our actions as leaders. We have to demonstrate that. Because if this house alone cannot be respected or cannot respect itself, then what exactly are we doing? So, Mr. Speaker, I want to beseech you. I want to beseech you, Mr. Speaker, because of what is happening here, Mr. Speaker. What is happening here? You know, of course, we have, nothing stops us from exercising the Constitution and the standing orders. And these standing orders are very clear. We have other avenues. So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to beseech you that before we proceed, because there's no business which is going to proceed here, I can assure you that with all due respect, what we want is, Mr. Speaker, we have agreed from the onset, Mr. Speaker, we have agreed from the onset that I have a lot of respect for you, and I'm not disrespecting you in which way. So would like to know, Mr. Speaker, I am not speaking to the majority leader. Majority leader, I think, have some respect. You need to shut up when other people are talking. This business of talking every time as if you are the only one who has the monopoly of words, Mr. Speaker, it's a little bit ludicrous, and we will not allow. I have respect for the Speaker, and we will not allow this sort of gagging. So, Mr. Speaker, we are elected leaders. When we are in this house, Mr. Speaker, I respect Mr. Speaker.
I want to give the
so,
next
Mr. Speaker,
Majority Leader, you are on intervention.
See, this is my my problem, Mr. Speaker. The problem that I have, I said yesterday, okay, it can even be last year, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you are... Can I be heard, Mr. Speaker?
Proceed and
I want to proceed. Which standing order? Anyway, Mr. Speaker, this is a point that I'm trying to prosecute here. They asked you a very simple question. Why haven't you communicated? To the best of my knowledge, and I don't want to be dragged into the operations of the office of the Speaker, I'm only concerned for time, Mr. Speaker, that it's now 2:53. I thought by now, because we have serious business that you want to prosecute, you should have either given them their communication the way they want it, or informed them the reasons why they have not received the communication. That's the only thing I wanted to say. I have no problem with you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
How can I say it? How can I say it when you're heckling?
Thank you, Majority Leader. Thank you, Majority Leader. Senator Kajwang Moses.
Mr. Speaker, the substantive point of order is before we leave order number 2, we expect a communication from the chair. We do not expect a ruling because there's nothing to rule on. A ruling comes when there's ambiguity, when there are gray areas. But where the standing order is clear on how the majority or minority side should conduct themselves as far as leadership is concerned,
Senator Kajwang, before you proceed, the minority leader asked me a very simple question. And I'll give him right away.
Mr. Speaker,
so I want you to finish.
This is my point of order. It's not on the minority leader.
Because you are dwelling on what I should give. He asked me a question and I will answer
Mr. Speaker,
right
this
away.
is my point of order. It's not synchronized with the minority leader. We do not, and I do not expect a ruling. Mr. Speaker, if you're going to give a ruling, you will be taking powers that do not belong to you. The role of the Speaker is in the Constitution, is to be an umpire and not a player. Mr. Speaker, you cannot put on the uniform of one side and purport to decide for some side of the game how they should conduct themselves. Mr. Speaker, I'm on a point of order, Senator, with due respect to the chair. Mr. Speaker, this House is a last frontier for free speech. And Mr. Speaker, if the chair is going to gag us, and I have a lot of respect for the chair as an institution, and even for the gentleman sitting on the chair, I've got a lot of respect for that gentleman. This is a last frontier for free speech. We must ensure that there is fidelity to the Constitution and fidelity to the standing orders. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge you not to be dragged to be part of political party or coalition intrigues. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge you to allow the minority to be led by those they want and the majority to be led by those that they want. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say this on the floor of the House, that there is no senator who's more special than the other. All of us can serve. All of us can lead. Mr. Speaker, when we communicated changes on the leadership of the minority side, we were saying that we need someone else to be our whip and somebody else to sit on the bench. And Mr. Speaker, I've personally been very conflicted in the decision that we have taken. In this House, the senior-most member in this House, in terms of longevity, is Senator Stewart Madzayo, followed by Senator Fatuma Dulo, followed by Senator Moses Kajwang, followed by Senator Aaron Cheriot. If leadership was conferred on the basis of experience in this House, I would not vote against Senator Fatuma Dulo to stop being our whip. But sometimes there are factors that come into play, issues of political party management, allow us, Mr. Speaker, to have the leadership that we want and do not be compelled by anybody in leadership of this House to influence your thinking. And Mr. Speaker, finally, and I want to, my friend Aaron, he's smiling, he's a very good friend of mine. And I want to advise him. And the bullfighter today, nowadays, is a bit chilled. Senator Aaron Cheriot, if you are looking for a chihuahua, a toy dog that you can control, go and look for it outside. Do not look for it in the seat of the Speaker. Do not attempt to control the Speaker. Do not attempt to convert the Speaker to a puppet of the majority leader. The speaker is not your chihuahua.
Okay.
The speaker is the umpire of this house.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Speaker, I submit.
Senator Kajwang. Senator Kajwang, let me rest assured